And just take a moment and read through just to be sure. Today we are going to need a mat or a chair. You can use both. Bare feet is optimal but not required. Okay, let's begin. Just my screen here somehow got a little torqued out. Go. Okay. So today we're going to start either standing or seated, your choice. Nice and tall, shoulders down and back. And let's take a deep inhale up and exhale down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. One more deep breath here, inhaling up and exhale down. Now let's add in a little torso rotation. Inhaling up, exhale as we open the arms, turning to one side. Inhaling back up to center. Exhale as we open the arms to the other side. Moving back and forth at our own breathing pace. So if your pace doesn't match mine, that's quite all right. Deep breaths. And our next exhale, let's come back to center. Wonderful. Clasping the hands and turning them inside out to push away, rounding the shoulders and upper back. If you wish to enhance the stretch, simply tuck your chin toward your chest. Still breathing as deeply as we can. Getting a nice stretch to the upper back and shoulders. And inhaling those arms, reaching them up overhead. Nice and tall, slight gaze up. And as we lift those arms up, let's give a gentle lean to one side. Coming back up to center and a gentle lean to the other side. Coming back up to center, releasing the hands, clasping the hands behind the back. If we can't reach our hands, that's okay. We can just reach back as if we were holding a ball. But if we can reach our hands, give a nice clasp, lifting up through the chest, as if the chest is reaching up toward the sky. And all this could be done in a chair. If you're choosing to sit, that's quite all right. And releasing those arms, moving into our cat-cow stretch. So we have a few different options here. You could do this seated, standing, or on our hands and knees. So I will show all variations for you. If we're seated nice and tall, arms are optional. Inhale, lifting head, chest, and tailbone. Exhale, rounding the back, bringing the arms forward if we're seated. Or we could just leave our arms at our side is another option. Standing, same thing. And if we choose to go down to our mat, Lining up our wrists under our shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhaling into our cow. Exhaling into our cat. Choosing whichever option feels most comfortable today. Remembering that every day our body feels just a little bit different, and that's okay. We do the best we can with what we've got in this moment. Deep breaths. Our next exhale, let's come back to a neutral spine. So if we're seated, that's fine, or we can come to standing, one or the other, but we're off our hands and knees. Moving into a gentle hamstring stretch. So taking one foot forward if we're standing, the heel to the floor, sitting back as if we're going to sit into a chair. If we're seated, we're at the edge of our seat, heel to the floor, and giving a gentle hinge forward. Breathing deep, feeling the stretch from the back of the leg all the way up into our low backs. Deep breaths. And our next inhale, rising up and switching our legs. Extending the leg out, heel to the floor. Hinging forward if we're seated. If we're standing, that heel's up, reaching back as if we're going to sit into a chair. Breathing deep, feeling the muscles lengthen. Wonderful. On our next inhale, let's rise up. If we were seated, let's come to standing. We're going to do a little calf stretch. Pressing the ball of the foot into the earth to start. Then pressing that heel back down further and further. It may or may not reach the floor, depending on how wide your stance, depending on how flexible your calf muscles. It does not have to touch the floor. We can stay right here, or if we'd like to add on a little bit, we can clasp those hands, press away, get a little extra upper body stretch here, if we choose. Nice deep breaths, releasing, switching sides, taking the ball of the foot to the earth, pressing that heel back, again, choosing your stance as to how much of a stretch you want to get. We can stay right here, or we can clasp the hands behind. If we can't clasp the hands behind but want to add that stretch, again, just imagine holding on to that giant ball. Deep breaths. And from here, releasing, turning our stance forward, nice and wide, toes angled out to the corners of our room. Inhaling, the arms reach up. Exhaling, elbows and knees bend for our moonflowers. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, sinking. If our knees are feeling a little tired today and we don't want to bend our knees back and forth, that's okay. We can just stand tall and use the arms. We can also take this position seated to our chair, just sitting nice and wide and using our arms. Choosing an option that feels most comfortable for you today. And we're going to hold our next exhale pose, bringing the arms out, turning the legs so that we're into a warrior two. So we have our left leg turned out, knee in line with the ankle, right leg straight, arms reaching out. And from here, let's bring our hands behind our back, just so we're holding our hands, not a clasp. Maybe we hold our fingers, but so that our chest is open. If we want to enhance this, we can reach back and hold our elbows. Getting a little bit more of a chest opener here. Breathing deep. Releasing the arms, floating the front arm up to the sky, back arm down the leg. For our reverse warrior. Deep breaths. Coming back up to center, and then bringing the hand to the thigh, back arm up for our side angle. We may choose here, instead of the hand, we can come to our forearm if that's more comfortable. The arm could either be extended overhead or we can wrap it around our back. Just gently allow it to rest there. Nice deep breaths. And releasing, coming up. Let's turn our feet over to the other side. Bending the knee in line with the ankle. One leg straight, one leg bent. Arms reaching out. Chest, shoulders, hips are open. And again, reaching the hands behind the back to either touch the hands, the wrists, or the elbows. Nice deep breaths. Releasing, coming to our reverse warrior. Front arm reaches up to the sky, stretching through the side body. Breathing deep. And then our next exhale, coming to that side angle. Hand or forearm to the thigh. Back arm can be extended up, or we can float that arm behind our back if we choose. Deep breath. And coming back up. Let's walk those feet into center. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling down. Going up. Exhaling down. Let's work our way down to the floor. So coming to our hands and knees, easiest way that we feel comfortable today. Extending one leg back, pressing the ball of the foot to the earth. Taking a moment to pause here. Breathing deep. Releasing and switching the legs. Other leg, ball of the foot presses back into the earth. Feeling those toes spread out. Feeling the stretch through the foot. And then releasing the knees down, sitting back into child's pose so that we're sitting on our heels. Our arms can be stretched out. We can make a pillow for our hands, for our forehead to rest upon, or we can stack fists for our forehead to rest upon. Deep breaths, feeling the length in the spine. And then slowly bringing the body upright so that we can turn around to a seated position. Nice and tall up on our mat. Let's extend our right leg out, hugging our left knee in. Nice and tall, lifting up through the chest as we turn toward our knee. Deep breath. Releasing to center. Let's switch our legs. One leg straight, other knee bent in, and we're turn to that bent leg. Giving it a hug, gazing over the shoulder. A nice seated twist. And releasing back to center. We have a couple of choices. We can come seated to our chair if we would like, or just stay seated on the mat in a comfortable seat. Does not have to be cross-legged. That's just what works for me. Sitting up nice and tall, extending our arms out to the sides, bringing our arms forward. And let's take the left arm underneath the right so that we're elbow to elbow. Bending the arms in. And from here, giving a gentle lift. If this feels incredibly uncomfortable or you can't get your arms to meet, that's okay. Just take that one arm in and bend it. Opposite hand is going to gently bring that elbow across the body and a gentle lift. Get a nice shoulder stretch here. The hands don't have to touch. Releasing the arms, opening wide, switching sides, taking the other arm to the bottom, and then gently lifting. And if our arms are not crossed, take that arm in, give it a bend. Opposite hand comes to the outside of that elbow, bringing it across the body, and adds a little bit of a lift. So choosing the arm position that feels most comfortable for you today. Breathing into any discomfort, as this may be challenging. And then releasing down. Excellent. Extending one arm up overhead. We're going to reach over to one side. Our other hand can gently support us. If we're in a chair, we could be doing the same thing. taking note if we're lifting up off the mat or our chair. We want to try and keep that hip bone anchored down so that we get the nice stretch through the side body. Breathing deep. Coming back up, releasing. Switching our sides. Inhaling up the other arm. Gently releasing into a side stretch. Deep breaths. Again, making sure that our hip on that side is anchored down to the floor, to the chair. Deep breaths. Inhaling back up to center. Wonderful. So whether we're seated in a chair or we're seated on our mats, let's take a nice release forward. Supporting the body, letting the head hang loose. Just allowing that head to release. So there's no tension in the neck. You get a gentle shake, yes. A gentle shake, no. Just coming back to center. Breathing deep, feeling the release in our necks. And then slowly coming back up to center. And let's bring our ear toward our shoulder, as far as it feels comfortable to go. The opposite arm can release down to the side or come behind our backs. A nice stretch from our neck, shoulder, our traps back there. Deep breaths. Inhaling the head back up to center and switching our sides. Our other ear reaches toward the shoulder. We can stay right here or reach the arm behind our back. Deep breaths, feeling the release in our neck, our shoulder, our traps right back there. Breathing deep. Releasing, bringing the head back. Taking a nice look to the right. Just turning the head. Coming back to center and looking to the left. And coming back to center. Nice deep inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bringing the hands in. One more deep breath in. And letting it all go. I thank you for joining me today. May you go in peace, love, and gratitude. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.